There we go. Okay. So it is mirroring your screen now. Okay. Thank you. All right. So now you can see this, correct? Okay. Let's go back to that. Now that you can see that, I don't know if you can see my video, but if you can, great. If not, that's all right too. But let's get started. Piano Maestro, the motivation mystery solved for Piano Maestro newbies. Now, I've seen names out there. You're not all newbies, so if this is redundant or repetitive for you, my sympathies to you, but I don't think it is. I think we have a lot of fans here that are really excited about the app as well. So let's get started. First of all, this is a picture of my wife and I, of course. We've been married for 5 years and are going to go on our first cruise this October. We're very excited about it. We love life. We have a piano studio of over 80 students, and we're growing and growing, and we're excited about it. Danae is the brains behind the mechanics of everything, making sure that everything runs properly, and she also teaches as well. And then I have quite a few students myself, and Piano Maestro has been a very big help with that. Let me introduce you to my son, Hiram. He loves life. He loves playing basketball, and of course, he loves pounding on the piano. We are always happy to have him. He's very musical. He loves to sing. He's working on being able to carry a tune, but he's only a year and a half, so he's doing pretty good so far. Anyway, that's us. We live in Rexburg, Idaho, which is near the Tetons, and we're just an hour and a half away from Yellowstone National Park. Very beautiful. So if you ever decide to come visit Yellowstone, we'll drive right by our house. So be sure to send me a message, come on by, and we'll have lunch together. Now, as we get this webinar started, I received all of your comments and questions, and I've done my best to answer them in this presentation. If I don't answer them, at the end we'll have a question and answer. And here's some of the comments from you. I know nothing about this, but you had me at motivation. Good. Isn't that kind of one of our common problems with some students, is just getting them motivated to practice? Glad to hear it. I love Piano Maestro. So far, what I have done in a few lessons last week has been fabulous. I could not get the kids off of it. Thank you. I have fantastic students, but like so many other teachers, I would like them and their parents to be a little bit more motivated. My ears are open to new ideas. Well, it's good to have all of you here, and of course there are many other comments. So just to give a little webinar outline, we're not going to follow this exactly, but we're going to talk a little bit about JoyTunes. Who is JoyTunes? And the Piano Maestro beginnings. The motivation mystery. How does Piano Maestro solve this motivation mystery? And then we'll go explore Piano Maestro. We'll go through different features that it has, as many as we can get through in this hour. And then what we don't get through, if you ask about it in questions, I'd be happy to address that. There are some features I am saving for the next session, so I'd love to have you join us. That one's going to be mostly question and answer based, and I'll be joined by Becky Laurent from Texas, who will be helping to answer those questions as well. So let's talk about JoyTunes. JoyTunes is a company based out of Israel, of all places. Who would have thought? They are a team of at least 10 people who, on a day-to-day basis, are creating music education apps for teachers like you and me. They are an award-winning company. As you can see, last January, I had the opportunity to join them at the NAMM show in Anaheim, California, where they won the Best Tools for Schools award. I think the third time in a row. I believe they won it in 2013 as well. But these apps are recognized everywhere, and JoyTunes knows what they're doing. If there's any company that knows how to make a good quality music education app, it's definitely JoyTunes. Research shows that their apps are effective, that they're working. For example, in a study done in 2011 with some other apps that they've created, we we learned that the average practice time with students increased by using JoyTunes. If you've already looked at the app, is it any wonder? Also, their skills are improving more quickly. Is this to say their artistry is getting better? No, of course. We still need you as a teacher to help these students perform more artistically. But we're going to JoyTunes takes care of note reading, helping students sight read more effectively, more quickly, improve their inner pulse, rhythm, and things like that. I would say that teachers like you probably say it best. One teacher, which just gives a lot of credit to JoyTunes, said that she just had a parent message her. She says, I just had a parent message me that she is extremely impressed with her daughter's renewed interest and the potential she sees in the app. It makes me so excited. I love it when a parent sees the value in Piano Maestro and how effective that can be. Another teacher parent who homeschools her children and teaches them said, I homeschool my kids and they play Piano Mania, now Piano Maestro, 15 to 30 minutes a day on top of their 30 minutes of traditional piano lessons. They love playing so much, I have to pull them away from the piano and ask them to stop to go to another lesson. Have you experienced this? It's an amazing experience to have to pull a student away from the piano because they love it so much. They love the modern songs and are always looking for hard songs to master. Another teacher wrote, I am a private piano instructor of 40 students and use your Piano Maestro app. I want to tell you how great I think it is. It's very student-friendly, educational, and motivating for my students. Thank you for creating it. And I would add to that, thank you, JoyTunes, for creating this app and for listening to teachers. It wasn't even a year ago when I had some recommendations. I said, well, what if we had this and this and this in the app? And they said, let's get on it. And it was 2 months later that those features were present. One of those features in particular, which was probably suggested by other teachers like you as well, is a feature called Learn Mode. You might be curious about that one. So is it any wonder? Piano Maestro has been the #1 app in the App Store and under the education section. That was even above Luminosity and other education apps that are very prominent. This is a music education app that was at the top of the education in the App Store. Congratulations, Piano Maestro and JoyTunes, for creating that app. Let's take a poll. We need to make something clear, and that is, are we even really concerned about motivation? I'm going to come over here to the polls, which I know are, okay, here we go. Is motivation a problem for some of your students? I'm really curious to know. Is it a major problem, worse than you've seen it in the past? It's a minor problem, but it's still kind of a thorn in your side. Or is it really no problem at all, but you're going to be ready for it? I'm curious to see what you have to say about motivation. As you're doing that poll, I'm just looking at some of the comments. I can't follow all of them, so I have Danae, my wife, helping to answer some of those. And other teachers, feel free to chime in and help answer those questions. That feature I mentioned, Learn Mode, we'll look at that a little bit later. Okay, let's look at the results. So most teachers would say that motivation is a minor problem, but it's still a thorn in their side. I've seen that with my own students. Some are they come happy to learn to play the piano, just to be able to play the keys they get so excited about. Others, they come into the studio dragging their feet, and we all know that's not very fun. But if there was a solution for that, would we use it? And I think we are. And that solution is Piano Maestro, but why is it? Just a quick question for you. Why do you think that motivation is a problem at all? Why aren't all kids just excited to play the piano? Feel free to comment in your chat box. I'm curious to see what you have to say. overscheduled. Learning piano is difficult. Kids are very busy. They're competing with a lot of. We're competing with not only school but other extracurricular activities such as dance and sports. Great discussion, by the way. Modern entertainment. A lot of kids are being pulled away with video games, TV, movies, which is limiting their time, sadly, for higher educational pursuits. We're going to jump back on the PowerPoint right now. So how does Piano Maestro solve the motivation mystery? Well, like camera action music, let's take a look. You won't be able to hear this video, but I'm going to show this to you. For those that aren't as familiar with the app, maybe I'll give a little bit of commentary on it. But as I play this, Joe jumps onto the game. He goes to journey mode and selects a song of his choice. Traditional song, Hot Cross Buns. Is that an exciting song? Well, we all teach it, right? What's the fun in it, right? If you're just playing it with the regular music. With this game, it just brings it to life. Imagine really exciting, fun background music, and if you can't imagine that, just go try it out after the webinar. You'll notice every time Joe gets a note right, that the note bursts into stars. Those stars are collected into a funnel that increases a meter, which raises the sun in the background. Now notice the guy on the right-hand side of the screen that's kind of rocking out, the little mini Mozart that's really filling the beat there. Watch what happens when Joe gets enough notes right towards the end of the song here. Did you see that? Love it. Now, is Joe distracted by it? Maybe at first, but all of my students are mostly engaged in getting these 3 stars, being successful with it. And then they get to share the moment with a family or friend or with mom and dad and show how well they just perfected that song. That score goes overall to improve their rank. So Joe is an up-and-comer. What comes next? That's for Joe to find out. Now, if you can't imagine how this solves the motivation mystery, try it out with your students and see what happens. It's kind of magical as they start playing through these songs and really feeling the beat, feeling the music. And all while they're having fun, they don't really realize it, but they're actually learning and they're getting better. So what do you need to get started using Piano Maestro? You just need a piano, an iPad, and download the app. That's it. But what about the wires and adapters? No wires are needed. That's because, if I back up here, next, the microphone on the iPad listens to the piano using the Music Sense engine created by JoyTunes, which makes all these wires just unnecessary. So then, what do we do next? How do we get started? I assume for most of you, this is an easy step that you've gone through, but just for those that might not understand, I'm going to quickly go through how you set up your Piano Maestro account. First, you're going to sign up. Once you open the app on the iPad, click the sign up button. Answer one of the following questions. Assume you'd answer that you're a piano teacher. Click on how many students you have, and then fill out the information on this sheet here, and click Create Account. If it doesn't automatically log you in, put in your username and password, and then your opening screen right there. Now, from here, what do we do next? I have a short video clip that shows what happens next. Let's get that rolling. There we go. So if you notice the owl at the beginning, that was the teacher profile image. But let's say a student shows up to their lesson and they don't have an account. If I click Add Manage Students, I can go in to the settings and add a new student. Click Add New, type in their nickname, their age, and then I can put in an email. This is optional if you want to connect to the student at home. In this webinar session, we won't be talking about how to connect to students at home. That'll be in the next session. However, feel free to insert that email and learn more later. Now we just added Tim. So now Tim, in my studio, in my home, Tim can play on the game all he wants with my subscription to the app. Tim doesn't need his own password. He just needs to click on his name, click OK, and then get started. If I want to switch to another student, the next half hour comes, I can switch to Tina, for example. And it's that easy. I don't have to retype in usernames or passwords. I just switch their name with the button at the bottom of the screen, labeled Switch. So let's play. Let's get started. On the left side of your screen, you'll see Journey Mode. We'll click on that. And then once we get inside Journey Mode, what do we do next? Well, just to tell you a little bit about Journey, it's kind of like the different levels of popular video games or apps such as Angry Birds, where it starts off very simple and it gradually gets a little bit harder as you go. It's the same with Piano Maestro in Journey Mode. Watch what happens when we click on that icon. We'll select Jimmy for this one. Skip the tutorial, and we'll get started in Journey. Now, in Chapter 1, there's some very easy songs. Rocking, Vivaldi's Spring, The Great Quest. Well, we'll see that Chapter 2 is locked, as well as the chapters after. You'll see that there's a variety of music, and each one just keeps getting more and more difficult. These are just quick glances, but you'll see some pop songs in here, as well as classical tunes. And that mix really motivates students to want to keep progressing. Even the songs that might not seem as fun, they really enjoy them because of the background track and the visual graphics. Now, if we head on back, I'm going to show you an example of what the Great Quest looks like if you've never opened the app before and this is your first time learning about Piano Maestro. As it's loading the background music, it'll give a suggestion or a tip on where you place your hands or what fingers are what. You can click, let's pause that. If I go back, well, I'm not going to go back for now, but you saw a button that said acoustic mode. If you click acoustic mode and play it on your real piano, that enables you to use the acoustic piano. However, if you're using just the iPad itself, you'd use the touch mode. Now, I wouldn't encourage your students to use the touch mode. We're trying to teach them how to play the piano and not an iPad. So take advantage of that feature, the fact that it listens to your real piano. Now we'll keep going. I think it started all over. Hang on. There we go. There's that button, Enable Acoustic Piano. In this case, I'm actually using the touch piano. So this song, you can see, very easy, but already introducing them to rhythm and to a new meter, 3/4. The other two songs were in 4/4 time. Not much explanation is necessary. This next video, we'll see what happens at the end of the song. Now it's a different song, but what happens in Journey Mode once you've passed off enough songs? What does it look like when we unlock a chapter? Okay, so we received 3.5 stars on this one. 16 notes out of 20, timing 100%. And my rank from trainee went up a little bit, so my rank has increased. And when I click on the menu button, it should unlock the next chapter. And I did. So now I can click the arrow and go to chapter 2. Chapter 3, of course, is still locked, and the chapter's following. So what if these songs are too easy? What if you're starting a more advanced student? Now, Piano Maestro is actually aimed towards beginners. I would say level 1 through perhaps level 2, and of course the primer levels. And of course, JoyTunes is always adding new material to Piano Maestro. So if the songs are too easy, there is a very helpful button that you can push called Fast Forward at the top right corner of the screen, in journey mode only. If you click on that button, you have the option of starting the test. And from there, it'll be just like a regular game, but it's impossible to get 1, 2, or 2.5 stars. You have to get a full 3 stars to be able to pass to go up to the next level. And it will skip about 5 levels at a time. Now, with that said, even with my intermediate students, or late beginners, I should say, I still have them do these early levels anyway, because it's a great training tool for them to listen and be able to see how accurately they can keep the beat and stay in time with the music. So, where do I access the practice tools? Okay. You may have heard of practice tools. The option, you would use practice tools if the music's too hard, if your students are struggling and can't seem to pass the song. So I'm going to go to library mode, and I can do this in Journey as well. I can use practice options in Journey mode, but I want to show you a different area of the app called Library. Library is where I can have access to all of the songs, exercises, methods that I'd like. Right now we're going to go to Song, and we're going to choose one of these categories that automatically pops down. I'm going to choose Pop and Rock, and scroll down until I find the song that I like to play, which is Don't Stop Believing by Journey, but the kids today know it as a song from the hit TV show Glee. So I'll click on Glee, and then I'll click play. And then as the notes start scrolling, they'll automatically start, but they're just coming too fast for some of my students. That doesn't mean the song's too hard for them. They just need some practice options. So I'll click the pause button, and automatically pops down the practice options where I can change the tempo. I can slow it down or speed it up. I could choose the right hand or the left hand. And a mode that I really like is the hold mode, which will stop and wait for you until you play the correct note. If you wait long enough and you still are struggling to find the note, it'll highlight the key, just as a reference for the students to find it. So very helpful practice options. Some teachers love to have note names. I'm trying to help my students get away from note names, so I don't use that option, but you can turn that on. That's definitely there for you if you need it. A great thing is that if you look at the top of the screen, the practice options menu kind of rolled up, and there's this little teeny tiny arrow. If you tap that, it'll either put it up or down. So I can actually pause the screen just like it looks now, so my students can press that section a few times before being evaluated on it inside of the app. And then finally, if you look at the bottom, you'll see the arrow pointing to the settings. There are some other options as well. You can turn off fingerings. You can change the note naming style to Do, Re, Mi. You can take the note names off of the virtual piano. And then rising sun, for some students, can be a little bit much. So we can turn off the rising sun in the app that goes up as they're succeeding. Other students love it, and it doesn't bother them, but that option's there to turn it off. Excuse me. So, how would you use these practice settings? Every teacher teaches differently, but we all understand that students aren't going to play a piece perfectly from the very beginning. if it's a more challenging piece. If it's a sight reading piece, sometimes they can do that perfectly. But think about that. How would you use the practice settings? Now, what material is available in Piano Maestro? You saw before that there are the songs, the exercises, the methods. Excuse me. You have songs, exercises, methods. We're going to take a look, not today, at exercises. Exercises include scales, warm-ups, five-finger exercises. We're going to explore those perhaps in the next session, but we're going to take a look at the methods. You have to understand that when Piano Maestro first came out, there weren't methods included, but that was always the plan. And JoyTunes received a lot of feedback. We want to see the methods in the app. Well, we're happy today to say that we have two amazing methods inside of the app. We have Alfred's Premier Piano course. If you use it, you know it's a great resource. Let's see if I have some that I can show here. So Alfred, this is a great book. And, I don't know if you can see me when my PowerPoint's up. I'm gonna exit out of here and see if you can answer that question for me. When that PowerPoint's up, can you see what I'm showing on the screen? As well as the PowerPoint at the same time? Yes? Okay, I wasn't sure if you could. Perfect. So I'll go back to the slideshow here. So inside of Alfred's Piano Premier, I don't have any examples here in this book, but what I like to do is I'll take a song like this, and I don't know if I need to back up because I can't see my own screen, but I'll take colored pencils and I will mark up this music all over. In one color, I'll do small sections, 4 measures usually, sometimes 2, and then I'll have my students highlight the dynamics. I'll have them trace the slurs, circle all the little details in the piece, and break it down into sections. Now, this is one thing that's great about the methods, and really all the songs in Piano Maestro, is that you can click on Learn Mode, and it'll break it down for you. Once again, I keep saying that we're going to talk about Learn Mode later. We'll get there. I have to pull up my iPad to show you that. I have to say, too, that it's really exciting to have Jennifer Eklund. She's a self-publisher and probably one of the most successful self-publishers. Oh, here's an example of how I highlighted the music in there. This music is found inside the app, and it's very quality material. Of course, the pop songs and the material that the JoyTunes composers have provided, that's great material as well. But in lessons, we're using these methods, and now we can use them inside of Piano Maestro, which is just great. So thank you, Alfred and Jennifer Eklund, for providing these great resources for us as teachers to use. I asked Jennifer what she thought about having her method in the app. Jennifer said, I have seen firsthand the excitement and enthusiasm for Piano Maestro among my own students. So why would she join JoyTunes? She's seen that excitement and enthusiasm. Foundational skills like sight reading and rhythmic understanding have improved. Another part of her quote that I really like is that Piano Maestro makes the process of practicing more effective. Something I stress heavily in the piano and the pronto prep section in my method books. So easy for students to do at home on their own. In short, Piano Maestro makes practicing piano pronto materials easier and even more fun. I couldn't agree more. Students are having fun, but they're learning, and they're okay with that. And that's great to hear. So what's coming next? Will there be more material? Is this it, just Alfred and Piano Pronto? Of course not. Daniel McFarlane, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right, he's a self-publisher from Australia, and his book series, Supersonics Piano, will be included in the future. And what value will Supersonics Piano ad. In his own words, Supersonics Piano complements well the Alfred and Piano Pronto methods already featured in Piano Maestro. Supersonics pieces add dynamic and contemporary options for teachers looking to engage and motivate students. I've had some other conversations with Daniel. He's a very, very nice guy and very talented at what he does. Be sure to look up these publishers after and let them know that you heard about him through Piano Maestro. I need to also mention that Bradley Sowash, another great composer, is going to have his hymns that are self-published released as well. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to get a hold of a book series called That's Jazz. We'd love to have a jazz method in the series as well. So hopefully in the future that will work out as well. So is it time to explore and learn more? It's now 10:38. I'm going to take 5 minutes, maybe even less, to show you this learn mode that I've been talking about. And the way I'm going to demonstrate that is through a fancy tool called Reflector. And hopefully it proves it itself and works effectively. I'm going to go back to the screen here. Okay. Bradley Sowash, and I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. So I'm sorry, I just answered someone's question from the chat, and I know that's really random that I don't read the question first, but that's the life of giving a webinar. You can't see anyone. Okay, let me get this app up on the screen. This will take me just a moment. Question is, can you see it? When I just brought it up on the screen, were you able to see that app or see my iPad screen? Yes. Okay, all right. So we're going to Piano Maestro and show you how Learn Mode is changing the way my students practice. I can't tell you how many times I say small sections and try again. Slow it down. What practice phrases are you using? What do you say over and over again in your lessons? You just wish they'd grasp. There are just certain practice principles that are tried again and again and always prove to be true. I'm going to go to the library again, go to the methods, and it looks like I'm on my account right now. This is not my own account, this is a test account. You'll see those little locks. If you don't have the full subscription, you'll be locked out of these materials. But if we go to like lesson 1A, for example, and we don't have Learn Mode there, I need to get another. I'm going to pull up my other iPad here. This should have the right account on it. Sorry about that, one moment. I'm switching. There we go. Okay, so now you get two iPads on the screen. That's random. I'll turn this one off. There we go. Okay, so in Piano Maestro, I'll just choose any student for now. We'll let that load for just a moment. And then go back in the library to the methods. And let's take a look at one of Jennifer's pieces in movement 1 to show you what Learn Mode looks like. And I think these have Learn Mode. Oh my goodness. One doesn't. I'm not prepared. Okay, we'll have to try Alfred. I know that they're working on getting Learn Mode ready for Jennifer's books as well. They're still quite new, and so there's a lot of programming behind that. So here we have Walk to School, an Alfred's Premier Piano course, and at the bottom you'll see the Learn Mode. If I click on that, you can see that it breaks it down into steps. It makes life easier as students are forced to go through hold mode at a slower tempo, and as they go through each step, by the end, they're prepared to successfully play the song and get 3 stars. Now, I use learn mode only if if I know the student won't be able to do it on their own by using just the play version. But with learn mode, I've just seen lots of success. So if we go to step 1, I'm going to down background music for just a second. This would have been a good one to record before, but I didn't. Okay, here we go. Okay. So as you can see, it stops and waits for you to play the correct note. And so forth. So I think it's self-explanatory, learn mode. If it's not, email me. I'd be happy to help you understand why we are using learn mode with students. The next best option is to explore the app a little bit more. So we're going to open up for questions in just a second. I have a question to ask you, and I think I have that here. And that is, do you currently have a Piano Maestro subscription? I'm just curious to know if you're already subscribed to the app, you're just curious to learn more, you don't have it yet, or if you just don't have an iPad yet. Okay. So it looks like quite a few of you already actually have the Piano Maestro subscription. You must already be Maestro Masters. You better hang on to the next session. We'll have we'll be exploring some other options as well. You can take a look at the results there. I think those are shared. For those that are just curious to learn more about Piano Maestro, email me. I have a code for 1 month free trial just for new users that haven't had the experience of using Piano Maestro before. Send me an email and I'll send you that code back. Let's see. That's all I have for right now for this session. Go ahead and start sending in your questions. Denise and I will try to do our best to answer. If there are others out there that know the answers, feel free to help answer just through the text. That'd be just fine. But do you have any questions? Is there anything you'd like to see? One of the questions is if we want to stay for the next session but did not sign up, do we stay signed in? No, you'll have to sign out and re-sign into the new meeting. Let me get the code. I'm going to jump online real quick and I'm going to share that code with everyone. If someone else has it already, though, feel free to post it for us in the notes section where it says public notes. I know that link is available on some of the Facebook forums. Someone may have already beat me to it, but I'm still looking for that code, for that login information. Okay, I'm typing in the public notes section right now. Uh-oh. There we go. Someone test that out and make sure that it works. Oh, it doesn't. There's a flaw. Okay. The code should now work for the next meeting. I really appreciate everyone that's helping answer these questions because I can't get to them fast enough. One question is, will there be more exercises and pieces for intermediate students soon? I don't know if I can say soon, such as 2, 3, 4 octave scales, arpeggio, those things like that. But in the future, yes, we're trying to broaden the beginner material first, and then we'll start to see intermediate. You'll notice that I've also shared maybe two documents with you in this meeting. Those will help answer some other questions, perhaps. If you click on, I don't know where you'd find them, but one's called Piano Maestro Parent Guide, and the other one is called Piano Maestro Teacher Guideline. Does Piano Maestro work on the original iPad, the first one? And the answer is no, it doesn't, but it works on iPad 2 and higher. But Jennifer already answered that for me before I could even get to it. Thank you, Jennifer, for answering that. Oh, okay. My wife gave me very good feedback. How do you connect to a student? Would you raise your hand under my mood? Raise your hand if you need help connecting to students. Imagine just a few of you might. How do you connect to your students at home? How do they use the exact same account at their house? I have no mood on the screen, Brent. Maybe you can't raise your hand. Okay, I guess I can raise my hand, but I guess no one else can. Maybe it does. I can't see where that's even happening. Well, with that said, I'm going to show you that really quickly, and then we're going to take a quick break so I can get the meeting started at the 11 o'clock hour. And once again, feel free to join that one. This is how you connect to a student. Okay. Oh, I have a better tool for you. I already made a video on how to do this. I'm going to share that with you. JoyTunes.com, and then you go to Teachers, Piano Teacher Resources. Hello, iPad Piano Teachers. Okay, I think I found the right link. Hello, iPad Piano Teachers.
Today I'm going to show you how to...
Okay, that took me long enough, but here's the link, unless someone already did it for me. But if you click on the link that I just posted in the chat feed, that will take you to a little video I made on how to connect to your own students. Why do you want to connect to your students? Well, in the next webinar, I'll show you, you'll be able to make homework assignments to them. Your lesson planning will be so much easier, and your assignment planning. Be sure to check that out. David's not a very good multitasker. I appreciate the honesty. It was great to have you in our webinar today. Your questions are breezing by so fast, but we've got to get the next one open so people can start attending that one. I hope it's been fun. I hope you learned some new things. If you did, stick around for the next one. We'll answer some more questions there, and I'll have Becky joining me, and Danae will be helping as well with that one. So I appreciate your help today. I appreciate you joining. Thanks for coming. It's been a lot of fun, and I hope to meet you in person someday. Have a great day. Take care.